If you want an alternative to your typical social media channels, then I have something very special for you today. We Are 8 are a social media channel with a massive difference. No algorithms, a focus on community and sustainability, 60% of profits that go to people, charity, and climate change solutions. They don't actually want you to spend hours every day on it, and opt in ads that you get paid to watch. This is a social media app that is actually good for the planet, the community, and your mental health. So keep listening. Welcome to Sales Without Socials. If you too are mentally exhausted from the constantly changing algorithms, you're not getting a return on the blood, sweat, and tears you put into your social media efforts, and know there must be a better way to market your business, then you are in the right place. I'm your host, Tanya Williams. I love pink, wearing 4-inch heels, and being the sparkly chief of everything at Digital Conversations. In the last 6 months, I have transformed my business growth by doubling down on the marketing strategies that actually work, and that doesn't include Facebook ads, reels, or silly TikToks. So, if you're like me and you're sick of being on the social media hamster wheel and want to focus your time on marketing strategies that don't suck your time without a result, then make sure you subscribe and keep listening. Are you with me? Let's dive in. And you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun along the way. Hello, everybody. It is Tanya Williams here, Chief of Everything at Digital Conversations, and I am back with another episode of the Sales Without Socials podcast. Now, I've got a really interesting one for us today, and it may or may not be something that you've heard about before, but I am talking to the Chief Marketing Officer of WeAre8, Luke Robinson. Now, you might be thinking, who is WeAre8? Or maybe you've already played with it already. So, we're going to talk about what it is, how it evolved, and why you need to know about it. Hey, Luke, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this. I've been sort of watching you guys for a little while and seeing where's this going to go and what's going to happen and how's it going to be evolve. So I'm really interested in this conversation today to sort of dive deeper into it. And I know that it's going to be something that so many people, especially people who are so sick of social media, will be interested in. Can you just start with giving a bit of context about your background and then we'll sort of jump into what WeAre8 actually is.
Yeah, sure. I've been working in the media marketing space for coming up to 20 years. I've done time at Nine in various roles there. In a time when that was just a TV network, right through to what it is today as a cross-platform media business. I've done time at Sony Music, helping them launch Australian artists into the local music scene. And I've also done stints in the magazine world as well, from a publishing point of view. So, yeah, I think it was just over 12 months ago that Sue Fennessy, the founder of WeAre8, approached my boss and myself to come across and help launch WeAre8 into the Australian market. It's not every day that you get a chance to really build a brand from scratch, and
Yeah.
especially in the social tech space. So I kind of took the opportunity and haven't really looked back, and have been on the crazy ride that is WeAre8 ever since.
Now, explain to people what WeAre8
Yeah,
is.
sure. So, look, the easiest way to look at it is we are a new social media platform that social media meets social change. And we're really out to turn people's social media time into a place where we can also make collective impact. So, really bringing social media back to a sense of community. And really, we're all spending far too much time scrolling our lives away on social media. I think some of the stats on TikTok alone, you've got kids spending nearly 30 hours a month on TikTok.
What?
Um, and
Can you imagine what
and
you're
when
doing
you
as a month, right? Like that's crazy.
100%, and that was a big reason why Sue Fennessy, the founder of WeAre8, kind of really set out to set up this platform. It's not too dissimilar from a user experience to what you get on an Instagram or TikTok. It's vertical videos and image led. There's two content feeds on the platform. One is for creators from around the world, that is free from ads. So there's no ads at all in the content feed, which, as we all know, you jump on Instagram these days and it's just, you never see your friends on it. It is constantly just a feed of influencer content or brands trying to sell you things, which there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But you do want to see the content that your friends and family are posting. And then alongside that, there's a friends feed as well, which is for your true friends. So you will only ever see people that you've verified as your friends or family on that feed. So the product itself is actually, I might take a step back. I think the impetus
Mhm.
for us existing in the first place, Sue Fantasy, as I mentioned, she's an Australian tech entrepreneur who's spent a big part of her life living in New York, in particular, building a business called SMI, which is all about tracking the amount of advertising dollars that is spent in different verticals. And obviously, over the last 5, 10 years, you've just seen the insane amount of money that has gone to the big tech players like Meta and more recently TikTok. And at the same time, you've got nearly 2 billion of us living on social technology every single day that is making us feeling more isolated, feeling the mental health crisis, contributing to things like teen suicide, the disinformation around climate change, really just destroying a sense of community and democracy, really, as we know it. And
Absolutely.
that really was the impetus for her to kind of go, there's got to be a better way that we can do this. How can we bring people back to a social home that is built on community, built on purpose, makes people feel good about themselves, and at the same time, how can we also help change the digital advertising experience for brands? Because that too, in the social media sense, has just been broken for far too long. All these brands pouring so much money into shocking click-through rates, shocking viewability, yet we all seem to be addicted to this drug that is social media. So she built
Yeah.
WeAre8 with a mission to really try and only unite 1% of people. So that's 80 million people on the planet to come and join a new social home that is free from hate and can actually give back to the world. And hopefully by doing so, we are, on our way to diverting some of that digital advertising dollars to not just help brands get their message out there, but at the same time, help contribute to charities and climate change solutions along the way, because at WeAre8, we give back 60 cents in the dollar that is spent and invested in advertising on the platform.
I love all that. Like the premise of it, the reasoning behind it, I just think has so much merit. I think it's such a timely thing to be in the marketplace as well. I've been a user of social media for many years, and I know in particular the last couple of years, it has just frustrated the buggery out of me. Just as you said, you literally pick
Mm,
it up and it's ad after ad, and you're going, hang on a minute, what about all the things I actually want to look at and see? And I've just
yeah,
found the experience from a business and also a person using it um, totally different to what it used to be. As you said, like it used to be, I mean, it was a social thing. It was where you connected with friends and family. It is not that anymore. It has not been that for such a long time. It is a pay to play platform. I know they keep talking about user experience, and I'm like, do you really guys even really know about user experience? Because if you did, you wouldn't be
mm,
shoving all these ads down our throat constantly. But the
yeah,
fact that you're trying to bring people together in a community. And we know that humans love community, right? That we want to feel part of something, but also
yeah,
giving back. I just think is so admirable, and that's why I wanted to talk to you, because I just think someone that's going, let's flip the switch
yeah.
on how we know social media, and that's really what you guys are doing. We're going, we're just going to approach this from a totally different angle, and our focus is going to be on community and giving back and making people feel good about themselves as well, not like as you said, like you said that before about mental health. It is such a huge issue that's
It
really
is.
neglected, right?
It is. It's terrifying, and a
Yeah.
platform we've really brought it back to the authentic kind of sense of you're uploading content that you've captured yourself. We don't have filters on the platform. We want people to feel safe about posting content that they don't need to look perfect, and it doesn't need to capture the perfection of life. It can be the raw and something, because we are hate free and we don't allow hate on the platform. It's moderated through AI technology plus human moderation, and when we do capture hate content or hate comments on the platform, it is removed very, very swiftly. um, the
Unlike
other
us Facebook and Instagram, by the way.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's the thing. The others say they can't do it, but they can do it, and it's they choose not to. And I think we've made a really big stance that we want it to be a safe community that people can feel vulnerable and post content that they're not going to get caught out from posting, and because they're going to get vilified for it. So I
Yeah,
think for us as well, removing that ad experience from the content experience, I think really delineates, a brand's, message versus what you are wanting to see in your content feed. And I think it does something completely different from the way citizens, as we call them on WeAre8, kind of value the advertising experience as well, because
mm,
it's all opt-in. So you'll receive a little prompt at the top of the content feed saying, such and such brand wants to share something with you. So if you choose to watch it,
I
you're
love
being you're being valued for your time because you're going to receive a portion of the advertising revenue that we make from that. So as I mentioned, we give back 60 cents in the dollar through that advertising revenue. And because it's completely opt-in, you've chosen to watch the ad. So
yeah,
your attention that you are actually choosing to give that ad is at a heightened level. It's not like a YouTube where you're waiting and waiting to skip the ad. You've actually chosen to watch it. So
yeah,
from all the studies that we've done, we've just conducted a big research piece with a European-based research company called Lumen in partnership with Scope 3, which also measures the carbon emissions that digital advertising gives off,
yeah.
and our attention metrics versus the other social media players, where they are reliant on advertising being fed into social feeds, and more often than not, blasting out a million impressions or ad units to actually capture your attention at some point. Because we are opt-in, where you remove all that wastage that goes to some of these ad units, and you're only paying for completed video views on
Well,
WeAre8. So
it's
it's
quantity.
risk free.
Yeah, well, you're actually getting something because you're going that this person actually wants to see the ad, so they're interested in the product. So that's quality over just a bunch of eyeballs who are going to scroll past it. It's a total
100%.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
and
it's almost similar to what you would probably expect from a TV experience in
yeah,
terms of giving advertisers an opportunity to actually give people a storytelling platform again, as opposed to the first 3 seconds of a brand ad that people actually pay attention to on platforms like TikTok.
yeah, I love it. Can you explain to us how it actually works? So if someone isn't aware of We Are 8,
Mhm.
like what is the process? How does it actually like work from a personal and I suppose a business perspective as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, of course. So like any social platform, we're only really mobile first at this point. So it is an
Mm.
app. So you download the app, you sign up as a user or as a citizen, as we call them on eight,
Yep.
on the platform. And then basically the moment you're in there, you'll start seeing content on the eight stage feed, which is our creator feed.
Yep.
And then there's options on there to invite your friends, so you can start posting content in your private friends feed. Um, and then the other part to it is your ability to watch the ads to receive micropayments. So for around a 30-second ad, you will receive around 15 cents for watching that. So over a period of a month, if you watched ads for, watched a couple of ads every day across a period of a month, it's enough to either cash it out of the platform, which you can do via PayPal,
Oh,
and
wow.
you can pay it forward to things like your Netflix subscription. I don't know. It's a great way to offset the cost of living, which
Yep.
we're all facing pressures against that at the moment. But the real premise behind that getting paid to watch ads is really the collective impact that we can make. So once you have received the little micropayments in your eight wallet, you can also choose to pay it forward to charity on the platform. So in
That's
Australia, we've got around 25 charities that we have on the platform that you can readily pay forward micropayments to these charities. So it's just another great way for charities to be supported through social media, which, more often than not, they have to go out and spend so much money on other social media platforms to get their voice out there and get their campaigns out there. So we're really here to kind of support what they're trying to change in the world and be a platform that supports that.
I absolutely love that. I love the fact that you can give back to charity in
Mm,
particular because,
yeah,
there are so many amazing charities out there, and there's only so much money you can donate to charity.
yeah,
Um, because we're all constantly getting calls and things in our letterbox and all the rest of it. So the fact that we
Yeah,
can make a bit of content and give back, again, back to community, right? And that's that full circle thing. I think is
yeah.
absolutely awesome.
I do have a stat for you, and it wouldn't be if you're not talking about a social media platform. There's always stats to play into it, but I
Yeah.
think just this idea of collective action, like there's 21 million Australians currently, registered as social media users. If all 21 million of those came across to WeAre8 and spent 2 minutes a day with us and watched a couple of ads or were exposed to a few ads, the collective impact that we could all make, it's quite astounding. So $378 million, this is every month, from watching 2 minutes of ads a day, would go back into people's wallets on the app that they could pay forward to charity, or cash out of the platform themselves. 30 million would go to
Wow.
charity, just because every campaign that is booked with us has a charity portion of the advertising revenue that automatically goes to a charity of the brand's choice. And
Yeah.
7.5 million, because we carbon offset your campaign, would go to climate change solutions as well. So it just shows you that I think, as people and community, our time on social media, we actually are almost the biggest unpaid workforce in the world. Like, we are
Yeah.
spending so long on social media that we forget that all these big tech companies are making money from the time that we're spending there. So we that's what we're
Yeah.
trying to get out there. It's like, you know really trying to flick that switch and really make people wake up to the idea that there is a different way, and if you want to turn that into impact time, it's possible with what we've built.
It's like that stat. Like that is just
It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying, isn't it?
but it's mind blowing to think that such a small thing can have such a massive impact. And it's just a lot of people just doing something small that can
Hmm.
have an impact and a flow on effect that in so many different ways. Like it's just mind blowing. And as you said, like, Mark Zuckerberg's sitting there going, awesome, ka-ching, 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 every time someone, boosts a post and does all these things that just don't get any traction or don't work. But here's something that is actually going to make an impact no matter, what you're doing. I just think it's awesome. Um, so
100%. And look, when you consider Meta alone, I think made something like $120 billion, last year alone. Like, it's
then
but these
they're
are
laying
these are
off
big
people because
numbers, and
they right? Like, come on.
yeah,
Like, give
yeah,
me a break. Yeah, it's crazy. So who's actually using it? Who's on the platform now? What do the stats say? Like in terms of both from a business perspective and a citizen perspective.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. So, where the app has, because of the advertising model, we've phased the release of the app, so it's not available
Yeah,
worldwide at this point.
yeah,
We have been in the UK, which is our home base. It's the first market that we launched the product in.
yeah,
It's where our founder, even though she's Australian, that she's based over in London. So we've been in the UK for we'll be coming up to a year and a half. We've been in Australia just over a year, and New Zealand more recently, and we've just released the app into the US this week, which is super exciting. Um, in
massive market.
terms of
Yeah,
It is, and that's where you get the scale in that market as well, and we've got really ambitious growth plans to head into other markets, like India and other parts of Asia as well in the coming 12 months. From a downloads perspective, we'll shortly tick over the million downloads point, which is a big milestone for us. In terms of our user base, and we refer to them as our optimistic change champions.
I
We've
love it.
really tried to we've really tried to skew this product. Like, we know the younger generation, that they are actively out there wanting to make a difference and make a change in the world. So very skewed towards 16 to 39s from an age bracket point of view. We've gone after two real key segments, one being university students, those who really want to make a difference in the world and really want to be given the tools to be able to do so. And the other being young parents with kids, or about to have kids. I think, there's not a young family out there that isn't concerned about the world that they're bringing their children into, in particular from a digital media consumption. So we've aimed
Yeah,
to provide a real safe space to be able to do that. From the stats that we've got so far, it's very, very 50-50 from a gender perspective. We've got 49% of our citizen base at the moment is under the age of 34. So we are really starting to see that we are, finding our niche in with the demographic that we've kind of gone after. From a client
Yeah.
perspective, we in Australia in particular, we've engaged with over 50 brands since we launched in the last 12 months, everything
Wow.
from Suncorp Bank, AME, through to Virgin Australia.
Yeah.
We've had Amex on the platform. Who else have we had? We've had Coles. So these are all big brands that believe in what we are doing, and many are repeat brands as well coming back to the platform because they are seeing the results that we can provide them.
Love it. And I think, so there obviously you've mentioned a lot of big brands, but I'm assuming that you don't have to be a big brand to come on board either. Like, are there many
Not at all.
smaller businesses?
Look, we have
So do you have
naturally, I think, just in our journey in Australia, in particular in the UK, where they're obviously a little bit more mature in terms of the clients that they have been speaking with. They've got a lot
yeah.
more smaller brands, smaller coffee brands, smaller direct to consumer brands as well, in terms of jewelry right through to um, beauty products as well. So yeah, we have predominantly been working with larger brands in Australia, but the model is set up for brand building and clients across, whether it's small business right through to clients who use agencies to buy us. In the
Yeah.
UK, we have a self-serve platform, so very similar to Meta's ad serving. It's called Sammy. It's our sustainable ad manager. It's
Mhm.
very straightforward. We haven't got to the point where we've released self-serve in Australia, but we'll do so in the coming months. But very user friendly in terms of going in, putting in your plan budgets. The beauty of this product as well is that it's super transparent. So the moment you book a campaign, you'll see how much of your investment would go back to the community from your ad campaign, how much would go to carbon offsetting, and how much would go back to charity as well. So I think there's that beautiful sense of transparency, and the fact that your ad dollars aren't just going towards promoting your business, but is actually doing good in the world as well.
Which is fantastic. Love that. So, can it be used for collaboration? So I know you've got influencers and so forth on there. Can,
Yeah,
businesses get together? Can they reach out to influencers? How does that work? Like, how does the influencer and the collaborative
yeah, well,
work
yeah.
together?
Yeah, 100%. And look, we're in our early stages in terms of our creator opportunities for brands. We have started this in particular out of the UK. We've just done a big creator campaign with Citron, who also collaborated with the Big Issue as well. So it was really a campaign that brought to life all three facets of WeAre8. So the charity partner, the brand, and the creators kind of coming together to help promote all three messages, which was fantastic to see. And I think that's a real point of difference for us. It's kind of connecting the dots with like-minded brands and like-minded charities to actually
Yeah.
help raise awareness for important issues, but also do the brand sell at the same time.
Yeah.
We have a really active and growing creator community on the platform. Many who have coming to us because, like you've mentioned before, like they are not getting seen like they used to on Instagram. It's getting harder and harder to grow your community there and actually get your posts out there to the world. So I think the beauty of us, because we don't have algorithms, you're guaranteed that if someone follows you, they are going to see your content on their feed. So and we're really finding this with our charity partners as well, like the amount of engagement that they are seeing on content that they post on WeAre8 versus some of the other platforms. It's actually showing them that they're speaking to a like-minded community that actually wants to hear what they have to say, and it's not costing them anything at the same time.
I'm gonna go back to 2 words that you just said there before that I think are awesome. No algorithms.
Mm,
Like, no algorithms, like, this word gets bandied around. We talk about algorithms. No one knows how the hell they work though, right? Because you're not supposed to. You can't beat them because
yeah,
you're not supposed to. But everyone's like, "Oh, it's how the algorithm works, and this is it all about the
yeah,
algorithm." So the fact that you guys aren't using algorithms
right,
like, hello, 5-star, high five, like
Well, that's
that
the thing. Like we don't want this product to be a habit. Like we want you it to be habitual. We would love you to come there, spend a couple of minutes a day experiencing the content from the creators or catching up with your friends and family.
yeah,
Watch a couple of ads so you can make collective impact. But we do not want you spending 30 hours a month on WeAre8. It's just the reality. It's not healthy. It's we want to inspire you to realize that there's a world out there and go and enjoy it because that's what's more important.
yeah, rather than walking around on your phone all day doing this, like
Oh,
scroll.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I love it. So how can businesses use it for marketing? So, obviously
Yeah.
we've talked about some big brands and stuff like that. What are some of the types of campaigns that they might be able to do or that are working well?
Yeah, sure. Look, I guess because of what we stand for in terms of trying to create a better world, the platform has lend itself to brands wanting to really tell that sustainability ESG story, in terms of what they are doing, from a sense of goodness in the world. But
Yep.
by no means is it limited to that. Like they have gone down that route because we've obviously attracted a very like-minded community that is wanting to see brands stand up and start making active change in the world. So they have kind of gravitated towards us to help communicate that story. But like any other social platform, we're here to really be a brand building platform. So if you've got a message out there to tell people what a product to sell, we can really help you do that.
Mhm.
We are at this point in time, just as we continue to scale, very much a brand building platform at the moment. But in terms of from a marketer's perspective or a business owner's perspective, I think the beauty of eight is that you're only paying for the cost per completed video view. So there's no risk in your investment with us. You're getting what you pay for, and you only pay once that has been fulfilled. And I think that the bit that I mentioned before, with the video views, you get on there off the back of every video view. There's three little prompt questions. Some are
Mhm.
just, how did this ad make you feel? Some can be tailored to asking a question about what you'd like to know about that brand. But I think with us, the beauty that you're getting the video view and then some insights off the back of those video views is super valuable. So you're getting the market intel at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Um, as I mentioned before, 100% video views. So you only pay for once you've had the views on the platform. So there's no wastage there. And I think the reassurance that it's completely transparent and audited. Like we have an always on auditing process with PwC.
Yeah.
And we're not marking our own homework. We've just done independent studies with, as I mentioned, with Scope 3 and Lumen out of the UK as well. So I think, yeah, there's the system is there to be used as a fantastic marketing platform.
I love it. Do you guys have, and I know you're only new and you're in that sort of scale phase, do you guys have support for people who want to get on and start to advertise and do all that? Like,
Yeah,
is that in
100%. Our Yeah, so our client service team, which you can reach out to for all inquiries, just go to weare8.com. But we're there to hold your hand and help get you set up on here. There'll be full reporting off the back of your campaigns. But I think that's the beauty of this business as well. And it's at all levels. Like it's a very human touch. Our creators know who our creator outreach community are like that are working within the business, whether it's in the UK or Australia. There's that sense of nurturing that we kind of have built into the business, and that's really come from Sue at the top right down. There's You will have a real human reach out to you if you do put an inquiry into the system.
unlike,
If you've ever
you don't have chatbots everywhere? What do you
no
mean?
no
I
no
really
at
would
this
want that. That is so
we are here to help. We are literally here to help, and I think as long as we continue to scale as well, like that's always going to be part of
fun.
who we are. We are. I don't know in terms of your listeners, but like we're a B Corp certified business as well, which
Yeah,
means we put people and planet before our profits, and it's really baked into the DNA of the business, and that's how we operate at all levels.
I love that. I think, yeah, I don't think I can't see a downside to it anywhere. Like, it's just all upside, all positive, right? Um, is there anything else that you think people need to know about We Are 8 that we need to share?
No, look, I think jump on the platform. Test it out for yourself. Be part of the community. I think download the app. Yeah, please join and be part of the community. I think for brands as well, like I said, run a test campaign. Like you've got nothing to lose. You really have nothing to lose. It's risk free, it's wastage free, and at the same time, you're doing good for the world.
Yeah,
Um, I think as well, more than ever, people are looking for brands to try new things and actually be better corporate citizens in the world. I think, if we're not getting that from government, that, brands are who they're looking towards more than ever to actually stand up and make change a reality for us all. So I think try new things with your marketing budget. You've got nothing to lose. And I think, what got you to probably where you are at this point is not probably going to get you to where you need to get to in terms of
absolutely.
your business growth. I think the media landscape in Australia is just changing, at a rapid pace. You've got TV advertising, not as strong from a viewership. I think it's down something like 20% year on year. You've got digital
Yeah.
media as fragmented as ever it has been before. So I think, yeah, try some new mediums, try some of the things that are new to the industry, and see what they can do for your brand.
And I think particularly for the fact that people will actually see it. So you're spending money and people actually see what you're doing, and those people are gonna be quality people because they want to actually see your ad as well. I think that's such a huge thing because as we know, and we've spoken about it, you chuck $100 on Facebook, you don't know who's gonna see it, if they're who you want to see it, even if you are trying to do targeted ads.
Yeah,
There's so much wastage there. So, put money towards a medium
yeah.
where actually people want to see what you're offering and watch that ad. So much sense. Well, this has been a great conversation. I encourage everybody to jump on and download WeAre8, have a play with it. Businesses get on, also have a play with it. I think this is something that we all need to embrace, and it's a great thing for our community and our mental health. Thank you so much, Luke, for being part of this conversation and sharing, some information about WeAre8. I think it's super valuable.
Pleasure. No, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke.
No worries.
If you are curious about how your business can make sales without focusing on social media, then I invite you to check out the Sales Without Socials program. The Sales Without Socials program helps B2B service-based business owners master a reliable, consistent, and repeatable way to generate leads and sales in 15 minutes a day without posting on socials 5 days a week, so you can stop chasing algorithms and start effortlessly landing dream clients on repeat. If you are mentally exhausted by the constant changes, sick of trying to beat the unbeatable algorithms, and know there must be a better way to market your business that takes much less time but gets you better results, then I promise you'll love this program. You'll find it at saleswithoutsocials.com.au. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'd really love it if you can subscribe and leave a review, because more subscribers and reviews help the podcast reach more people, and I would be truly grateful. Thank you for being awesome. And until next time, you tune in. Never let anyone dull your marketing sparkle.